Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing corporations utilized for property ownership by foreigners in the kingdom. I've discussed this at a little more length in other videos on this channel, but this video is pretty readily pertinent as of the time of this filming. There has recently been an announcement from the Department of Special Investigations here in Thailand that raids were carried out last week on offices of those who are allegedly engaged in the maintenance of corporate structures for the purpose of allowing foreigners to own land or control land here in the Kingdom of Thailand, real estate property specifically. To be clear, this translation is not sort of definitive when it comes to the actual DSI announcement. If you look below in the comments section of this video, there's a link below to not only the translation, but that link will also take you through to the actual DSI announcement as well. Why am I making this video? I'm not really making this video to particularly shed light on the alleged perpetrators here or cast aspersions in any way on them. This video is strictly for informational purposes, and it's for informational purposes to make the point that corporate structures utilized for property ownership in the Kingdom of Thailand are a really tricky thing. And by tricky, I mean, as we'll get into when I read some excerpts of this translation, they're pretty well forbidden. And I'll get into some detail on that a little bit further here in a minute. But the thing to take away from this is, over the years, I've had various people sort of contact us and say, oh, well, I want to set this up because I want to own this house or own this land. And as I've explained, the Thais are pretty clear. Thai law is pretty clear with respect to foreigners owning land in the kingdom or utilizing land in the kingdom, as are they especially with respect to the Foreign Business Act and the notable restrictive lists pursuant to the Foreign Business Act in its annexes, that land trading companies are also specifically restricted to Thai ownership. That being said, there are various, for lack of a better term, structures that can be utilized, either multi-layered in terms of multiple different corporate structures acting sort of in concert to go ahead and allow foreign control or foreign benefit, foreign enjoyment, if you will, of real estate, land, property here in the kingdom, as well as sort of more straightforward structures. In any event, it's always kind of been my position, not kind of been, but been my position, that these structures are, for lack of a better term, there is an inherent risk associated with these structures, and that inherent risk manifested itself, in my opinion, in these recent raids. That being said, this is not the end of the matter. I'm assuming that there will be an adjudication, or at least one adjudication, possibly multiple adjudications pertaining to this. And in the end, the accused may be cleared. The structures may ultimately deemed to have been legitimate. But that being said, what this video is intended to get the point across about is that property holding companies in Thailand, one needs to be very, very careful when dealing with such matters because there's inherent risks involved. Quoting from this translation, again, check the comment section or check the description below for a link to this translation in its entirety, as well as a reference point which will allow you to go ahead and see the actual DSI announcement as well. Sort of the headline, if you will, of the announcement: DSI, in collaboration with the Institute of Communication Science and the Board of Investment, are currently investigating a group of law offices in Phuket, Surat Thani, and Bangkok that are engaged in quote-unquote camouflage, for lack of a better term, corporate structures, acting as nominees on behalf of foreign shareholders. Quoting further, as per government policy to actively pursue foreign investors using Thai nominee companies to own land in order to protect the nation's interests, On 15th August 2018, Police Colonel Paisit Wongsuang, the head of DSI, and Police Major Surya Slinghongkom, I'm mispronouncing that. I'm just going to say Police Major Surya. Excuse me, the translation and everything. We've tried to get this out rather quickly, so my apologies for butchering some names here. Police Major Surya, his second in command, in collaboration with the Institute of Communication Science and the Board of Investment, obtained a warrant to search 4 addresses as follows. And as noted previously, there's various locations here. I'm not going to go in on this video into detail as far as addresses, etc. Quoting further from the translation, the search yielded copies of documentation, computer data, and hardware that will be used as evidence in court proceedings. The investigation has shown that those involved used Thai employees to incorporate Thai companies. The Thai corporate entities, in turn, are used to hold shares in other companies for the purpose of allowing foreign investors to buy land. These activities are in violation of the Foreign Business Act 1999. There's more in this. I urge those who are watching this video to check the link below. I'm not going to go into further detail quoting it, but what I found interesting, one thing is, I think it's fairly clear the enforcement apparatus here in Thailand is becoming more sophisticated. There was a time I would often hear people say, oh, it can be possible to use multiple corporations to sort of shield and mask one's activities in the kingdom. This was sort of heard anecdotally. We don't particularly deal with these kind of matters ourselves, quite frankly. But the thing to take away from this video is this is in the state of flux. And it's pretty clear to me that Thai enforcement officials are getting really serious when it comes to these landholding entities. Clearly, they conducted a combined raid on 4 different addresses, at least from the announcement. Again, these are merely allegations, at least as of the time of this filming. So I'm assuming that there's probably going to be at least some form of adjudication that's undertaken with respect to these matters before proceeding any further, or, for lack of a better term, assessing guilt upon or innocence upon anybody. But that being said, the thing to take away from this video is the enforcement functionaries within the various relevant agencies. So as noted, people like, agencies like the Board of Investment and DSI were really concerned with this. They're getting more sophisticated. So those who think that it's just sort of a simple thing to go ahead and evade the rules in Thailand regarding the restriction on foreigners owning land or controlling land or real estate, real property, I think that's a fairly naive position to take, especially in light of these recent events. And for that reason, those who are serious, there are other mechanisms. There are other perfectly legal mechanisms in Thailand for those who wish to have long-term use of real property. As noted before in multiple other videos on this channel, things like leases, usufructs, those can be utilized to gain some enjoyment over Thai property. A lease perhaps in tandem with some sort of mortgage structure, depending on the circumstances of a given situation, this could also be utilized. But that being said, whereas in the past I think it was more, for lack of a better term, more common practice to utilize corporate structures, especially before the illegalization of so-called nominee shareholders in the kingdom, you would see these kind of structures used much more widely. That era has come and gone, and we are now in a situation where it appears clear to me Thai law enforcement authorities are not only more sophisticated in their investigative ability to sort of, for lack of a better term, find these type of entities, but they're very, very serious about enforcing their policy and legal mandate with respect to dealing with these matters.